Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab in the wee hours of the morning. Well, I do what I do for you. Got something nice for you today. Yeah, another one. So let's go. Rightism 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. Message and story for life. I'm giving life lessons. You tune in, receiving. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right thinking mission. And yeah, I'm on it. Is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers' way of life through what? Mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. That's my mission to get all those who claim to be right thinkers to know thyself. My mission is just that. I'm going to do whatever I can to make that happen for you. I do what I do for you. Okay, let's go. The question, do you know you? If you have a problem with that question, stay tuned. I can help you with it. Let's go. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and knows not that they even know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got you. A person who knows not and believe that they know, dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows, excuse me, not that they know, it's okay. They're asleep spiritually. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows, excuse me, and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you, right? Think and know that self. And to my yacht, be true. You ever had that voice? You ever have a conversation with yourself? Okay, right thinkers. Let's talk about having that spiritual conversation. But the question is, who you talking to? AKA, conversation is with God. When He speaks, you should be listening. If you're into the meditating, if you're into spiritual enlightenment, you know that when the meditative state, you're doing the listening, He's doing the talking. And if He's doing the talking, that means He must be inside you. So understand that. Let's get the lesson going. I think this is going to be a good one. Right thing, let's talk about that spiritual conversation with God. Have you had yours? I do every day. I had my spiritual conversation with God over 10 years ago now. And He spoke to me, and I keep telling you, Vince Lombardi voice, clear as a bell, not Morgan Freeman, not James Earl Jones, Vince Lombardi. So understand that because of my prior understanding of football coaches, and I thought he was the best, so that's how he got my attention. Understand? He knows, so he knows just what to do to get your attention. I want to make that clear. But watch this: when we are in prayer, we're having spiritual conversation. You're asking from something from God to either help somebody else, help somebody's situation, but what if you're doing the asking? But who are you talking to when you're doing the talking? To Him. That's what prayer is all about. Talking to God, having a spiritual conversation, talking to God, your higher self. You don't talk outside yourself, you talk internally. So that must mean God is in you. Simple. So we gotta have the argument. Let's go. So we are spiritual beings. Again, I keep explaining this. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So that makes us what? All essentially God. Male God, female goddess. When you go into meditation state, you're having a spiritual conversation. But unlike the prayer, when you're doing the talking, meditation, you're doing the listening. Excuse me. And I tell you, I spend more time meditating. That means I listen more than I talk. I pray quick, short, and get out the way. But I listen in long spurts. Why? Because I want to hear what you guys got to say. If you go and pray every day, I talk to God. No, if you just praying, yeah, you doing the talking. That's it. That's why the meditation part comes in. You become the listener. That's the important part about prayer and meditation. They got to go together, one without the other. You're missing something. That's the concept. Let's go. Now, if you're egoistic, and a lot of us are, not even knowing it, some of us do, some of us don't. If you're egoistic, aka spiritually ignorant, that's what ego means, and you done edge God out. When I ever use the word ego, it's the reason I want you to hear and understand. Ego means singular, by yourself. I, me. No God, just you. So that's the ego. It don't know God. Okay? Oh yeah, the ego, okay, ignorant. You can't be blessed. Why? You don't have a connection to God. You ain't walking with God. You ain't obeying God. You doing you. So that's what the ego does. So it puts you out there on your own. So you might not want him to be leading the way. All right. So again, hearing that spiritual voice. Do you ever hear a voice? I hear voices in my head. Yeah, but sometimes the voices be from the other side. And you got psychosis where that ain't the voice. That's another voice for another lesson, but that ain't God. Okay. But that spiritual voice is the voice of God. If it's internal, if it's speaking to you, that's God. We call it the gut feeling. Some say it's uh what's that? The good angel or your higher self, but always follow and trust what's being said to you. Because God talking. You need to listen. The best thing my mom told me, I'm glad you listen. And to me, from her to me, that says a whole lot. But made it real quick. So me and my mom, we don't do a whole bunch of talking. So she make it real sweet, and I got the code, I got the message, well understood. Watch this. But in life, if you hear voices in your head, stop, still yourself, and listen to God, because He's talking to you. He tell you what, stop, still yourself, and know that what, I am God. So if something's being said to you, you should stop and focus and pay attention. I do it every day. Why? I want that message. I want him to download information to me on a day-to-day basis. I take it and I use it and I move on. That's the difference. If I take what he tell me to heart and manifest it, he'll take what I ask him for and manifest it. You see it? You pray, you listen, you do, you get rewarded. That's how it's done. If you think it's going to be any way you want it, it don't work that way. So understand that it's some things that you have to do. And if that voice is speaking to you, you should stop and listen to it. That's the spiritual conversation that you need to have. When I was ego tripping, watch this. Okay, yeah, when I was ego tripping, that voice was so low I couldn't hear it. Didn't pay attention to it. Didn't have a clue. Understand that. But that voice is loud and clear now. Why? I'm paying attention. I'm listening. I stop and still myself and know that I'm being talked to by my higher self, aka God. I listen to that voice. 40 something years ago, I didn't listen to the voice. It landed me somewhere I didn't want to be, but because I didn't listen, I paid the price. I've listened ever since. Okay? I always, what's this? I listen to that voice now, and I always what answer that voice with what? With deeds. That's my right thing philosophy concept. I'm going to take the advice from God, implement it, and manifest it for myself. That's what it's all about. If you're into spiritual enlightenment, that's who you're dealing with, your higher self. Man, nope. If you're being talked to, watch this. If you're being talked to from inside of yourself, please understand that that is the spiritual conversation. Whenever you're praying or meditating, and there's a conversation going on, either you're having it, he's listening, or You're meditating, you're listening to him, but you need to make that communion. You need to make the connection. If you're not connected to your higher self, you're going to have problems in life, aka feathers. We call it drama. Okay, most people love drama. Why? Because they think that's what they live for. The nonsense. Now, moving on. When you pray, you have to understand that's a spiritual conversation. Maybe one way because you're praying, but you're praying to somebody. He may not be talking to you while you're in prayer, but if you go into meditation, that's your time to get to hear what he have to say. Trust me, praying is the ultimate spiritual conversation. You're talking to your higher self, and it's something you want from him. Okay, understand that. When I started my church family years ago, I'm on a prayer line, and all I kept hearing was everybody was in need. Everybody was in there. I was like, man, I done came to the wrong place. I feel like I know God. I'm good. I'm rolling. I put other people in prayer, so I ain't about praying for me. I ain't wasn't in need. But after years went by, now everybody is thanking God, even me. hmm I give testimony every now and then. Just gave one this week. But if you're living right, if you're spiritually enlightened, you and God is like this. You ain't got to, I don't have to, no, God's with me all the time. I ain't got to go looking for God. I ain't got to go wonder, no. You God conscious, you God all the time. I'm not running around here raising the roof. Oh Lord, praise the Lord, thank all that nonsense. No, I don't do none of that. But I'm God conscious. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. And you can exercise that right when living righteous and doing virtuous acts for other people. It's called selfless service. You a giver, you a doer for better purpose for all those who need your help. I'm just helping somebody out. What I'm doing now, helping somebody out. Hopefully somebody can get this message and use it. That's why I do what I do. Hopefully to help you. Okay, let's go. Moving on. I'm a prayer warrior. Mhm. But guess what? Wait a minute. I don't pray out loud. You'll never hear me pray. All internal. And my pastor understands that. But guess what? He asked me to pray for him. He prayed for me every day. But every now and then, he said, Brother Wright, I need you to pray for me. That means I need some help. I need some more. I'm going to secure his prayer by praying with him, putting him in prayer from my side. When you pray for somebody, they don't have to know you praying for them. Half the people I pray for don't have a clue, but I keep them in prayer. That's what I do for you. Come on. I pray internally, but I pray and I get contact. If I'm praying for you, you gonna get good results. That's all I'm saying. Don't make me holy and spit. No. I just know when I pray, he listens. Why? Because when he talks, I listen. So we got a good thing going. Make it work. Heart mind coherence. My spiritual conversations is always internal, as is all ours. Just keep internal prayer. No verbal conversation. You can pray internally. You can say what you got to say internally. Right quick. Superstar. Think superstar. Don't say it, just think it. And if you think it, who's thinking it? Who's hearing it? Who's saying it? Who's hearing it? That means you got two things going on. That's you and God sharing the same body, like Haru and Set share the same body. Let's go. I can't pray, and I don't pray out loud. Why? Because my voice will crack. Because I will not be able to express myself like that openly. I do it better internally. That's why. Okay. My sincerity to my higher self, expressing my hmm, expressing myself out loud. I don't need to do that. Why? I do it eternally. That's why. Understand that. Next one. In meditation, watch this. You are having a spiritual conversation, but only this time you're on a listening end. You open it up and let the God communicate with you. It's called communing with your higher self, getting you closer to your higher self by what? Listening to what it has to say to you. You got some things to tell you. He'll guide you, trust me. You also have, watch this, spiritual conversations when? When you go into your meditation state, when? Daily. I do. I talk to God every day. I listen to God every day. Pray, Meditate every day. I personally have a continuous spiritual conversation with God. I call being God conscious. Christians, pray it up, whatever. But if you got God on your mind, the devil can't get to you. If you let the ego creep in and set God aside, oh, you about to get done. Why? Because the ego about to open the door for the other guy to come in and have his way with you. That's why. I meditate more than I pray. Why? Because in prayer, I'm talking. In meditation, he's talking. I would rather hear what he got to say any day. Okay? I love praying for y'all, but I'm going to cut it real short. Why? Because I want to hear what he got to say. I ask, what's this? When I'm in meditation state, I ask God's advice in every important decision I make when daily. Mhm. If you got a thought to make, you got a decision to make, incorporate God with it. That's all. So you got to do. You got to freak out, but just understand if it's good and right and divine, that's what you want. If it ain't equal to those things, you ain't. I'm not doing it. You don't want to do things that don't mount up, that don't add up to something positive and good. That's all. That's doing the right thing. And we're gonna wrap this up. Oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna wrap it up. Now, I love what meditating daily. Why? Because that's my spiritual conversation and my time to talk to God every day. I'm comfortable with that and I got good at it. So it's a way of life. When you do something on a regular basis and you put years behind that routine, you settle in. You're good to go. Okay? I have my spiritual conversation with God when daily. Do you? It's personal. You should have your own relationship. I'm gonna have to work with my dude. How's your in what do you call it? But whatever. How's your relationship with God? My man, it's personal. It ain't none of your business. But if you really want to know, tops. Okay, why? Because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. He do what he's supposed to do. As long as you do your job, and you gonna lack on his. We fall short of what we supposed to do. God is never short. Let's go. And I start. Watch this. If you're not in constant thought of God, you're a drifter. And you know, I told you about drifters. You take your mind off God, the devil gonna step in. Why? An idle mind is a devil's workshop. That's what he wants. Somebody who ain't thinking about God, who get a little relaxed, get a little comfortable, and end up getting. Well, I don't know what happened out of nowhere. It always happens like that. Now, I start my day off giving thanks to God when I open my eyes. Okay, that thought, thanks God, and then I have my God conversation, going to prayer. I end my day with what? Giving God thanks for the day. I reflect, think about what it was, and that's again my what? Spiritual conversation with God. You do it whenever you can. Why? He don't mind. He ain't got nothing else to do. He don't mind talking. Okay. Now, if you're constant thought of God, if you're in constant thought of God, watch this. The devil will leave you alone. Why? You are crack, a hard nut to crack. He can go get an easy one. Why? He ain't got to work that hard to get somebody who ain't focused on God. You focus on God, you got too much work to do. He don't really want to work that hard. So he want the easy one. So he leave you alone. He got 98%. Be that 2%. I am. Moving on and wrap this up. Again, having a constant spiritual conversation with God means what? Being God conscious. Are you? Think about that. Answer for yourself. Again, rhetorical question. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I'm out.